Hi you guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Patience. To my existing subscribers, welcome back. If this is your first time here, be sure to click that subscribe button and that notification bell so you can continue to indulge in the Hot Bella experience. In today's video, I am going to be creating this gorgeous eye look and also this gorgeous complexion look using some products from Huda Beauty. I am using the Rose Gold Remastered palette from Huda Beauty. I purchased this such a long time ago, and this is my first time actually ever touching this palette. But I am so much regretting the fact that I hadn't jumped into this palette a lot sooner, because I think I would have been able to create some beautiful summer and spring looks using this palette. But you know what? Based upon this look that I've got today, this palette works well for the fall also. So yeah, this is a gorgeous, gorgeous palette. There are 18 shadows in this palette, of which 9 are matte shades. So that's really nice to have a good range or a good amount of matte shades in a palette, because that's really helpful for transition shades. And this palette is also really nice because the matte shades range from the deepest of deep, which is this shade here, which is called Black Truffle. And then you also have some lighter transition shades, such as this one here. This shade is called Demise. So this palette is very versatile, and you can create some gorgeous and stunning looks with this palette. So if you guys would like to see how I created this look, then keep watching. My face has been cleansed and prepped. I used my Mario Badescu facial spray to tone my face. I then followed up with my SK2 Patera facial essence treatment. I then used the Confidence in a Cream from IT Cosmetics. That's the super moisturizing cream. And then I used the Hydro Grip primer from Milk to prime my skin. And I have also prepped my eyelids using my Power Play concealer from Cover FX. And you guys, I am still working with the Tat Brow product. If you guys haven't checked out my initial impression of the Tat Brow microblading eyebrow product, I'll leave that in the iCard above so you guys can check that out. But we're going to move into the Rose Gold palette, the Remastered Rose Gold palette from Huda Beauty. And I am going to start off with this shade right here. This shade is called Moon Dust, and I'm going to use this as my brow bone highlight. And now I'm going to use this shade right here. This shade is called Suede, and I'm going to use this as my transition shade. I did get a little bit, quite a bit of kick up in the pan. If you guys can see that. This shade right here, this is Suede, and you can see there is some kick up in the pan there, but it's not a deal breaker. It's not too much where it's just unbearable, but just wanted to mention that. Didn't take much at all to blend that out. And now I'm going to use this shade right here. This shade is called Black Truffle, and I'm going to use this on the outer V and sweep it into my crease area. Ooh, that got smoky really quickly. Does not take much of this black eyeshadow at all. That's smoky really quick. Yeah, so this is a very strong and dominant black. I basically used what little product I had remaining on my brush from this eye and started on this eye, and I was pretty much able to do almost both eyes with just one tap in or a couple of tap ins to the pan of that Black Truffle. Black Truffle did not come to play. And I'm going to go back to my brush that I used to apply my transition shade. That shade is called Suede, and I am just going to make certain that I soften up the edges here just a little bit. I've done my half cut crease situation like I normally do, and I used the cut crease canvas from Makeup Revolution. And now I am going to soften up the edges of where I have carved these lids out as I normally do. I don't want to lose the depth of the black, so I'm going to dip into the palette once again just to make certain that I don't lose that. And now I'm going to use this shade right here. This shade is called Dubai. And I'm going to use this starting with the inner corner and work it out towards the outer, maybe a little bit past the middle point of my eye here. But yeah, this is going to be my shimmer shade. This is a gorgeous shade in this palette. I'm going to try using my brush first, but I may have to switch over to my silicone applicator. We'll see. It's not giving me as much shimmer as I thought it would. Let me try wetting this. I'm going to spritz a little bit of my Power Up Dual Phase Setting Mist. This is a setting mist here. I got this in one of my BoxyCharm boxes. Just going to spritz a little bit on my brush and see if that will make a difference. I would like for this shade to really shine through. Not bad. Not too bad. I'm creating a fall look, but I think I need to lighten this up, or I would like to lighten it up just a little bit more. So I'm going to go back into this rose gold palette. This is the Remastered palette from Huda Beauty, and I'm going to use this shade right here. This shade is called Henna, and I'm going to use this right here where the black truffle and the Dubai come together, just to marry this look, or to marry these shades together a little bit more on my eyelid, and maybe add a little bit more color into it. All right, I think I'm going to let this be as it is. I'm not going to add any more black truffle. I'll just leave it as it is. I'm going to use my Sigma E36 brush, and I am going to go back into this shade right here. This shade is called Suede. This is the same shade that I used as my transition shade, and I'm going to add a little bit of this back into this look. And now I will add my liner and my lashes. So my liner and my lashes are done. I used my Inglot gel eyeliner in the number 94 for my waterline, and I used my Kat Von D tattoo eyeliner for my lash line and to give myself a little bit of a wing. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with my complexion. And since I'm using Huda products on my eyes, I'm going to pull out as many Huda products that I have in my collection and try to use that for my complexion as well. So I'm going to start off with the concealer from Huda, and this is in the shade Caramel Corn, and I'm going to use this to highlight and conceal all the areas that you would normally want to highlight. That's under the eyes, down the bridge of the nose. You guys know the drill. So yeah. And I'm going in with my sponge as I normally do, just to make sure that everything is nice and blended. I don't want any product just sitting on top of my skin, so I want it to smooth out, and the sponge is what we need to get that job done. And now I'm going to use another of the Huda concealers. This is in the shade Hazelnut, and I'm going to use this to do some cream contouring. And I would normally use a sponge to blend this out, but I'm going to use a brush today. I want a little bit more of this cream contour to come through since I'm going to be putting my foundation on top of it. So I think using the brush is going to give me a little bit more saturation of this color, which is good, which is what I want. So like I said, since I am going to be putting foundation on top, I want this to come through. So we're going to try a different tool today. Alright, and I think I am going to use a little bit of a sponge here on my forehead just to blend this out just a little bit more. And then I am going to use the same brush that I used to apply my concealer, and I'm just going to take this right in there just like that. Just kind of clean that up a little bit. I'm not adding any more product to it, just taking whatever product that's on there and just using that to clean that up just a little bit. I'm going to use the Huda Faux Filter Foundation. I'm in the shade Gingerbread, and I'm starting off with one pump on my mixing palette here. I'm using my Real Techniques foundation brush, and I'm going to apply this foundation, starting with my jawline first. This is definitely full coverage. So I've been able to cover this much of my face with just one pump of that foundation. I am going to have to go in with one more pump. So that was 2 pumps of foundation, so that's not too bad. And 2 pumps may be too much, because I don't think I'm going to use all of this. This is a really soft and pretty complexion. I really like putting foundation on top of my concealer and bronzing products. I'm really digging the way that's looking. I'm now going to set my under eye area and my entire face using my Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder. And I'm going to warm up my face a little bit more. And I'm going to use my Coconutty bronzer from Fenty Beauty. Love this bronzer. So just adding it in this area almost as if it were a blush. I am going to use a little bit of blush though, but still, as far as placement, I like to use my bronzer right in the same area as I would my blush. So, and I'm taking it around my forehead, temple area, just warming up the face just a little bit. Not taking very much because I did do some cream contouring underneath, so it's not taking very much of this, but I just want it to be a little bit warmer. And for my blush, I'm going to use this Cheek to Chic blush from Charlotte Tilbury. This is in the shade The Climax. And I'm going to use a little bit of this on my cheeks. This is a really pretty blush. Very, very pretty. And it's time for highlighter, and I am going to use my powder highlighter today, and I'm going to use one of my favorite highlighting brushes. This brush is from Moda Brushes, and it came in one of my BoxyCharm boxes. And I'm going to use this highlighter from Ofra Cosmetics, and I'm going to use this shade right here. This shade is called Bali. This highlighter palette is the Spiced Velvet highlighter palette from Ofra Cosmetics. Not sure if this is still available or not, but if so, it is gorgeous, and you might be able to find it on sale, so it might be worth it to pick it up. This is such a beautiful shade of highlighter. Gorgeous. I like applying my highlighter in a C shape that kind of curves around the temples and then comes down on the highest point of the cheekbone. Hit the cupid's bow a little bit. Tip of the nose, down the bridge of the nose a little bit. And I like to put just a little bit on the chin. Just a little bit. I'm going to use this Power Up Dual Phase Setting Mist once again. This is from In Beauty Project. So yeah, I've been using this quite a bit lately, and I like it quite a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and spritz my face because I have applied quite a bit of powder products. It is now time to smoke out my waterline, and I'm going to use this shade right here. This is Black Truffle, and I'm also going to use this shade right here. This is Henna, and I'm going to use the Black Truffle towards the outer part of my eye. I might sweep it in almost all the way, but I'm going to place the Henna on top just to soften it up just a little bit. So it's not going to take very much of this. This is a very dominant black, which is good. It's good to have that, because I have used eyeshadow palettes where it has a black in it, but then once I start blending it out or adding other colors to it, the black just kind of fades out. So this one is not giving me that type of problem or that type of challenge. It's black when it's in the pan, and it's black once I apply it. And I think for my inner corner highlight, I am going to go back into Moon Dust once again. That's this shade right here. And that's the shade that I used as my brow bone highlight. And I'm going to place that into my inner corner here. Just like that. It is now time for lips. And I was torn between these two shades of lip color. So these are the Liquid Suede lip products from NYX. I couldn't make up my mind which one to use, so I'm going to try to use both of them. So this one is in the shade Brooklyn Thorn, and this one is in the shade Initiator. So I'm going to use both of these. I am going to start off using Brooklyn Thorn. That's really pretty. That's very pretty. And I think with this shade Initiator, I am going to pop this right in the center. Like so. And I'm going to take a brush and just tap this out. And this look is done. I really like the Remastered Rose Gold palette from Huda Beauty. I missed out on creating some looks during the spring and summer with this palette, but I used the darker or the more warm shades in this palette to create this fall look, and I think it turned out beautifully. I love the formula of the Huda eyeshadows. I'm very satisfied with this look, and I plan on using this palette again as we move forward into the fall and winter months. I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys on my next video. Bye-bye.